one, go.
Live from Las Vegas at the GCA show. After 2 years of hiatus, we're back in Vegas. World's largest cardboard trade show booth. Live here in Martinsville, Indiana. Live from Norwood Royal Cigars.
When you guys said, you know, we want you to come on the show once a month, I was like, dude, this is it.
Happy afternoon here from cloudy Florida.
Happy afternoon.
Happy afternoon.
Presented by Kristoff Cigars, along with Hiram Solomon Cigars, and coming to you live from the Corona Cigar Company studios.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey.
Hey, and welcome to another fantastic show. We call ourselves now the Great Cigar and Pipe Show. So we're going to have to say that a few times. Guaranteed, we will say our original name many times because it's just embedded in us after 4.5 years. But welcome, everybody. We've got an unbelievable cast of characters tonight to bring to you. And as you can see down below, we have our kind of mini co-host himself, the one and only Joey G.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
And going in the side.
Yeah, he's got to wear the sunglasses because he's Joey Cool.
Oh,
anyway,
I think it's don't know where he is. They move him around a lot.
yeah, I think the red eyes from last night is hiding. Absolutely. Welcome again. Hey, folks, before we get really started, can you all hit the share button, please? And I'm going to talk about this all night long because we have amazing guests that the world needs to know about. But thanks again for all you newbies out there. Who are we? Well, I'm Ronnie Pecorini. This is Kyle Jesso.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
The two characters in Florida is my brother, retired Bob.
How you doing, folks?
And the one and only, the Chooch Master himself, Cousin Frank.
Hello.
Ooh, with the deep voice.
Change.
Why?
You know, you asked me,
Hello.
you guys didn't like me to say, good evening, you know.
Oh, no. We don't want to open up the Bela Lugosi.
We have a lot of people checking in. We've got my buddy Chris Eden saying hi.
Hey, Chris.
We've got Rockefeller.
Hey, Kevin.
We've got, I'm going to pronounce that Getya.
Yes. Hello, Getcha. How are you? Thanks for
We've got,
joining me again.
We'll get you or you get you.
We've got Marco
Polo.
Marco, the Woody Woodpecker
Yeah.
thing that he's got going on there. We got Patrick Brown, and of course, none other than Bruce.
Our show, I wouldn't even be able to go on without Bruce.
No, because he keeps us in check.
He does.
He always watches our sponsor time, so thank you, Bruce. We're
Thank you, Bruce, for that.
always watching over us. But the best thing about Bruce is that our three special guests on tonight, who knows? You know, he's always looking at what our guests promote and what they got going on. You're lucky. You're lucky.
Calling a guy who's always looking for a freebie.
No, he's always
I know.
he's always looking to buy.
He's
That's what I
always
love
buying.
about him.
He's always buying.
Bruce buys. He's a buyer. He's not a looker.
No, he supports.
supporter.
He's a great guy.
He's a
man.
supporter. Bruce, you're not jockstrap type of supporter. You are a true type of support.
Jesus.
The proper type.
No, Bruce is a good guy.
You know, we gotta take Joey and let him say something. He didn't even say a word yet.
Well,
Yeah, well, so
he's got a-
tonight,
on the rest of the show.
Stop, Bob. Shut the hell up.
guys, we went over this. But no, I'm very excited for tonight, guys. We have so much to cover. Tonight we're going to be pairing the epic Joseph Magnus cigar blend bourbon with Dave and Ash's and Spice Man's. This is their Leaf and Grain Society Robusto. And I'll get this out of the way right away. The pairing, the prize tonight is going to be an actual full bottle of the Joseph Magnus cigar blend.
Whoa.
You're going to get the cigar, the Leaf and Grain Society cigar, the Robusto here that we're doing with the pairing tonight. You're going to get the famous DAV cigar from Norwood Royal Cigars.
Nice. One of
Yep.
our sponsors.
Oh, and there's more. And
Whoa.
there's more.
More.
You're going to get, we got Billy Breedlove of Cafe 305 Barbecue on tonight. You're going to get a bottle of his sweet and tangy sauce and one of his rocks glasses.
Joey, you are the
You know, our giveaways are getting too big, though.
yeah. Pretty soon we're
We're going to give
Yeah.
away.
Wait.
I mean, come on.
What are we? You know, I don't know. Are we becoming like Drew Estate?
Yeah,
We're gonna
you know,
be like having, our own, events
Yeah,
where we
yeah,
give
yeah.
away like the big $64,000 question.
no, they're getting big, these gifts. I mean, tell
We
you.
have to thank Joey for that.
Oh, yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
I don't even know we had the budget for this, but hey, we're
you don't.
Oh, Joey G just makes things happen. Okay, guys. I got a guy. You know what I mean?
uh-huh.
So, so I mean, as you guys know, I represent Whiskey Network magazine. That's through Whiskey Bourbon Scotch Enthusiasts. That's a Facebook whiskey group that I've been a part of since about 2018. I started writing for the magazine little over a year ago, doing whiskey and cigar pairing reviews. As you guys know, my first appearance was with Mark Kaufman. He basically taught me everything about whiskey and what there is to know about whiskey, especially on the Scotch side of things. And then when it came time to actually start writing for the magazine, after Bill Varnell reached out, he's one of the founders of WBSE. Him and Chad Cadden. Cheers to those guys.
Cheers.
And all the contributors to Whiskey Network magazine. He basically reached out and was looking for a whiskey and cigar pairing reviewer. I volunteered, and it was the Zeal Cigar guys on YouTube that I had on then. It was Brad and JB, if you guys remember, from Zeal Cigars. They just kind of basically taught me the basics about cigars, how to get the wheels rolling with the whiskey writing. I've gotten better, or at least I think so, with the whiskey writing and cigar pairing writing. Be sure to subscribe. It's free at whiskeynetwork.net. That's whiskeynetwork.net. It goes to it's a virtual magazine. It goes to your email inbox on the first of every month. And then there's the Friday weekly barrel report newsletter. That also goes right to your email inbox. It's all virtual and it's free. So Dave, Yancey, and Ash Red of the Twisted Pair, they're the ones who kind of took me to the next level, okay, is what I describe it as when it comes to being able to pair a cigar with a whiskey. So I'm really excited to hear from them. And one thing that's unique, and maybe it will come up later on in the show, is that I've kind of, and this came out of my mouth on the first show, is when I find in like a kind of an epic pairing, I call it an unusual awesomeness. That's kind of been my catchphrase when I am experiencing an epic pairing, something that takes me to the next level. I call it unusual awesomeness. And then we're going to have Billy Breedlove of Cafe 305 Barbecues. He is actually a WBSE member. He is basically, he's been blowing up all year. I've been paying attention to this guy. And he is probably the most badass cigar and bourbon poster in WBSE. If you look at all his posts in WBSE, he's posting excellent pairings. So I'm looking forward to hearing how a barbecue chef takes his cigar pairings to the next level. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Billy as well. And for all you WBSE members, I don't know why the Chooches want me on once a month next year, but I'm looking to highlight every so often a WBSE member that is into the cigar and whiskey pairings. And maybe you have a business to promote, or maybe you have a certain way that you take your pairings to the next level, and we can jump on board with us and teach us your way. So I'm looking forward to that. That's next year. So that's what we have going on today. We've got a lot to talk about. You're going to hear from some excellent people, and I'm really looking forward to this pairing.
Me too. I've never tried this bourbon, so I'm excited about it. I can tell you that.
Absolutely. We got a lot of people on.
Tried the cigar either.
Yeah, other cigars. So this is going to be like I'm in newbie territory.
Yep.
You are.
Yep, this is the cigar.
Absolutely. Please, folks, if you're listening, please hit your share button, because tonight's show is going to be epic. There's so many guests, and I know there's going to be interest in each and every single one of them. So please hit the share button, and you all have to stay for the one and greatest segment of our show, Smoke the Chooch. And the prizes tonight are unbelievable.
Absolutely. And the Chooch himself will be riding in with the donkey. That's how he's going to deliver all of the goods.
Yep.
This is how he's going to show up on the goods.
And there he is.
He's going to do it.
Like dominant donkey.
You gotta turn it around. I think we're going to see the other side.
Oh, by the way, Joe doesn't know this, but at Blanco's event in November, I'm bringing a pin the tail on the donkey game, and I'm bringing Joey's face.
Yep.
And some of the giveaways are going to be whoever pins the not the tail on the donkey, on the Joey.
On the Joey.
Pin the tail on the Joey.
On the ass. On the ass.
On the Joey. That's right.
It's a family show. You know, we're going to put the hole right in the hole, so we can put a cigar up the ass. Absolutely. We're going to enjoy it.
Oh, man.
Joe, can you please talk to him?
Wow.
And that this is a family show.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We are. Okay.
We don't need this.
All right, family.
Wait, you must think I actually want to talk to him.
Don't throw him at the back of your head.
Talk to Jared. She's right here. She's listening. It's Jared. There she is.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Jared's there. That's right. She's
with her.
Here.
There
Nice.
she is. There she is.
It's well, that's a better
Review.
video right there.
There, and this way.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, she is the biggest Chicago Bears fan.
Hey, Joey, I see a red dot coming your way. You better want to move very quickly.
Anyway. All right, folks. Hey, it's that time. We're going to go to our sponsors. So make sure you grab a smoke, you grab your spirit, sit back. I guarantee you're going to have some laughs tonight, but you're going to find these guests real interesting, and definitely you're going to look into them for sure. All right, Frank, take it away.
Howard G Cigars is a dynamic new cigar brand grown from a love for cigar culture and a respect for the artisanship behind the craft. We are a minority-owned family business based in Orlando, Florida. Our current collection delivers 3 exclusive lines: Black Moses, Magic Stick, All Pro Series, featuring Leon Searcy's signature cigar and Ike Taylor's one-of-a-kind.
You got the one-of-a-kind rankings. They got me at 89. I'm cool with that.
We are focused on evolving as a dynamic brand and bringing you new flavor-filled blends that you'll enjoy and want to share. Visit our website at www.howardgcigars.com. You can find a full list of our retail partners there too. Thank you for making us part of your humidor. DAV Cigars out of New York. Decades of experience combined with true love and deep understanding of cigars result in the highest of standard of each DAV hand-rolled cigar.
This is Phil Morgan, General Manager of Missouri Meerschaum Corncob Pipes in Washington, Missouri. Our mission since 1869 has been to produce great smoking pipes that anyone can afford. We guarantee our pipes won't be your most expensive, but they just might be the ones you smoke the most. At Missouri Meerschaum Company, we don't just sell our corncob pipes, we grow them, make them, and smoke them. Missouri Meerschaum, Washington, Missouri, since 1869.
Loyalty, passion, courage. These are the founding principles of K by Karen Berger Cigars. The Maduro, the Habano, and the newly rated 93 by Cigar Journal Connecticut. Do yourself a favor and check out this wonderful line of cigars that come from a completely linear company from seed to your hands. Blue Smoke Atlanta is the vision of Robin Blue, founder and CEO, and represents an award-winning luxury smoking accessory line based in Atlanta and sold worldwide. Since 2019, Blue Smoke Atlanta's goal was to redefine traditional smoking accessories into a timeless collection of exquisitely handcrafted luxury products to include cigar pokers, cannabis clips, jewelry, and other awesome things. For an elevated smoking experience, visit us at www.bluesmokeatl.com.
At Mountain Smoke Premium Tobacco, we specialize solely in the finest hand-rolled, craft, and boutique cigars on the market. Mountain Smoke Premium Tobacco is sure to have something that will excite you. Shop our online humidor at www.mountainsmokewd.com.
And we're back. All right.
Wow.
All right.
Let's hit that share button. Everybody, hit the share button now. Let's get our guests out to the world, okay? All right. Well, we got 3 amazing guests coming on that we're going to let our co-host, Mr. Joey G, introduce them. And everybody, pay attention. We got a lot to learn and have some great laughs tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, welcome aboard, guys. Thank you for joining us. We have Billy Breedlove. He is known as a cigar smoking, bourbon guzzling, fireball of a chef. He needs a 5-point harness when he drives. He wants you to be good to yourself and others. He wears mismatched shoes. He's the Florida boy with the sauce, Mr. Billy Breedlove of Cafe 305 Barbecue. Welcome.
Wow, what an introduction that was.
Did he miss anything?
No, I think you got it all.
All right. And then we have, obviously, they are the authority in cigar pairings. They are the Twisted Pair podcast. They are next level. Out of Texas, we have Dave Yancey and the lovely Ash Red of the Leaf and Grain Society. Welcome aboard, guys.
Welcome.
Hello.
So, gentlemen,
how do you do?
you did okay, Joe.
All right.
All right. Now we have a lovely lady on, so let's watch our language, okay?
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. And
What the fuck are y'all talking about?
Now it's a party.
We roll her in, guys. We roll her in.
Yeah. We fucked up, guys.
It's after 9 o'clock somewhere.
Okay, before we start, I just want to give kudos to Ash and Dave for your cigar. Okay, we lit this up.
This is excellent. Wow.
Fantastic, fantastic cigar. Wow. Beautifully crafted. This is truly a well-designed cigar. I mean, it gives you everything right off the bat. I mean, we were like, holy cow, the floral notes were immediate just because we like to sniff our cigars. That's just what we like to do, you know. And we're like, holy cow. But when we lit it, Bob?
Right off the first puff was like, whoa, this is really excellent.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you don't get on the first puff.
No, you usually have to wait. Look at how perfect.
Ah, there you go. Ah. I'm just gonna cover up myself.
She's drunk already. She's drunk already.
Beautiful wrapper.
Yes, beautiful.
Very nice presentation.
And I will say this: I had a cigar earlier today, and for me, when I light up a cigar, I sit back for a minute and I wait for the cigar to romance me.
Exactly.
And when I lit it and waited, it didn't take very long before it started seducing me. So the cigar is very well put together. I mean, the aroma is fantastic. Great cigar. Great cigar. The way it burned, all that kind of stuff I pay attention to. The draw was excellent. I mean, it was really, really, really enjoyable. And unfortunately, I'm in the house, so I'm not smoking it now, but I did have it earlier today, and it was very delicious.
Well, folks, we're getting already requests. How can we get those cigars? So, Dave Ash, how can our audience start ordering these cigars?
Right now, you have to get them from Underground Cigar Shop, which is outside of Fort Worth. And just go on there, look for the Leaf and Grain cigar, the L&G, and they ship worldwide. And what's wonderful about their shipping is that it's a flat $4 shipping rate, no matter where they go.
Oh, wow.
Now,
And what's even more amazing is, like, seriously, you'll order online, and I kid you not, if you're in Alaska, Chicago, wherever, it is like 2 to 3 days shipping. It is insane.
Yeah.
They have the fastest shipping. I don't know what he does to bribe the postman, but it's got like the world's fastest shipping. It's insane.
The postman will be in there like three
times a
day. And so you order it, it's packed up immediately and it's ready to go, and generally will go out that day.
Wow. And Dave, did you say $4 shipping?
Can we get the link on? People are asking, guys.
Please, let's put that link up. That would be great.
Yeah,
and question for you, Ash.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say $4 for shipping?
Yes.
$4 for shipping. Flat rate.
Flat rate. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Now, Ash and Dave, is this available in other sizes or just this single size?
Right now, it's just in this single size.
Gotcha.
I mean, Frank, highlight the site there. Kyle just put it on. If you can highlight and leave it on for everybody for a little bit. We're getting people. Here you go, folks. Everybody who's asking, jump on that right now. Put your orders in immediately, because I have a feeling that by the end of this episode, you're going to have a hard time getting the reload on that. Congratulations. So how did you two hook up to create this?
You want to tell the story, Red?
So, well, yes, I'll start and you fill in. So we are actually both go to the Underground Cigar Shop. So he's a member there, I'm a member there, and we just started hanging out and talking about, cigars and, what it's like whenever we have it with different adult beverages. He's more of the whiskey, bourbon, all of that. I do more of the coffee and the crafted beers and stouts like that. So I went live one time and did a review of Luciano's cigar, the Pichardo Natural. Yep. And then he went live, and then we just kind of said, hey, let's go live together and talk about pairing a cigar and break it down, because some people think that they have a really bad cigar, and it just turns out that it's the drink that makes it really bad, or, vice versa. So that's how it began in a nutshell.
Wow.
Hey, take it on from there.
Well, so about 3 or 4 years ago, I came up with the idea of building a group and building a community around just the craftsmanship of cigars, wines, whiskeys, and coffees, and all of it. And that turned into more of an artist type group gathering. And so in talking with Red, she's right on. I mean, we were noticing pairings. We were noticing that there was something more to just a light body cigar with a beer, or a heavy bodied cigar with a whiskey, rum, or cognac, or what have you. And so, as she said, she went live, I went live. We both got some traction on that, and we decided to do this together and came up with the name of Leaf and Grain. So leaf is obviously for the cigar, and the grain is for everything else, because the spirits come from grains. Food is grown from a grain with seed. Food is fed. Beef, cattle are all fed with some type of grain. So that was kind of the play on the words to put it all together. And so in July of 2021, we started our show and decided we wanted to do this on a weekly basis. And we celebrated 1 year this past July, and it has just absolutely blown up since then. And from that, we've learned a lot. We've grown how we break down cigars, how we look at it when it comes to the pairings, and same with wines and coffees and teas, and all kinds of spirits and food as well. Spice Man, our other partner, is a chef. He's a classically trained chef. So we were able to cover the entire gamut of what you could possibly pair a cigar with.
Very true.
Beautiful. Where did you guys get the house, the inspiration, and whose house is making these for you? Just if you can even say that. I don't know.
Well, Noel Rojas makes our cigars. And when we talking about a cigar, one of our favorite leaf that we're partial to is the San Andreas. And we also love the Esteli Nicaraguan, the spiciness of it. So we have, and we're one of, like, whenever you do have, so we have a San Andreas wrapper, and then the binders is Nicaraguan, and then the fillers is a long filler, and that's a Nicaraguan as well.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Is it
excellent
jalapa? It seems like there's a little bit jalapa.
There is some jalapa in the fillers.
Okay,
so
that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's a Nicaraguan Esteli Corojo binder.
Gotcha.
And then we've got some jalapa in the fillers, and Esteli, and Sonoma Tempe in the fillers. So that's where you're getting some of that nice, really earthy black pepper in the retro.
But it's not.
It's very subtle, the black
heavy,
pepper,
yeah.
by the way. I would call that the most subtle black pepper in the retro, which is really nice because it doesn't overwhelm you. It just adds to the experience. Awesome blend.
Nice combination.
Oh,
yeah.
beautifully done.
And right off the bat, before we even lit it up, it had such an intense floral note to it.
Right.
It was amazing. And as I'm smoking it, something that I really never get in a cigar. Maybe it's just my palate tonight, but I'm getting like dark cherry note.
Yeah. I can see that for sure. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I haven't even tried the bourbon
no, I haven't
yet.
touched the bourbon yet.
That's next, though. This is obviously this is a pairing show, so we might as well start pairing. Bob.
Yeah, well, let's start pairing. Why not?
Well, you guys are pairing since this afternoon. Who are you kidding?
And Billy, you got to tell us, how did you get started with the barbecue sauce in Cafe 305?
Okay, so for me, I started Cafe 305 in 2013. I actually had a small barbecue restaurant down south in Miami. Had the restaurant business for a little bit. Had to take a break from it because if you know anything about the restaurant business, it could be hell on you. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah.
Is 305 because of the area code in Miami?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And the reason I named it Cafe 305 because when you think of Florida, you don't think barbecue, and you certainly don't think barbecue sauce. Well, I'm going to make sure they remember my name. So I'm going to put Florida on the map for barbecue and barbecue sauce.
Love it.
And one of the ways I decided to do that, we all love bourbon. We all love to eat. Who doesn't like barbecue and like cigars? So I had a lot of people approach me, was like, hey, why don't you do a bourbon barbecue sauce? And I'm thinking, you know what? There's so much bourbon barbecue sauce on the market, and really, it's kind of a gimmicky type of deal. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it differently. So we all love all the B-tag stuff. We all love the allocated bottles, hard to get stuff. You know, sometimes we hoard them because you don't know when you're going to get another bite at the apple. So I decided, okay, I'm going to do my bourbon barbecue sauce. So I decided to be a little different. So basically, this is what my average bottle of barbecue sauce looks like. Plastic bottle, nothing real fancy, but the sauce is out of this world.
Yeah.
But for my bourbon barbecue sauce, this is what I decided to do.
That is
I love that.
It's 30 ounces of
Oh,
bourbon barbecue sauce. And by the way, I can't tell you how I pulled it off, but I legally got away with using real bourbon in my barbecue sauce.
All right. All right.
30-ounce bottle. Yes. And thanks to the help of the people at the Tennessee Specialty Bottle Company, we worked together. They found me the perfect bourbon bottle with a cork. So this is the way it's going to come.
That's amazing.
And since we love the allocated stuff, I'm only going to do it once a year. And secondly, there's only going to be 100 bottles made. That's it.
Oh.
Because using the bourbon, it could be pricey. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah.
But each bottle is going to be hand signed by me, dated, time stamped. It's also going to come with coasters. It's going to come with some goodies, and to top it all off, it's going to come with a flask. Because who can't use another flask in their collection, right?
Yeah.
So this is what my bourbon barbecue sauce is going to look like.
Wow.
When is that going to be
released?
released?
Available?
Yes. Well, here's the thing: is only 100 of them, and I think I only have about 10 reservations left. Don't quote me, but it's no more than that.
So it's 0 right now.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's no more after that.
Well, how can I reserve a bottle, Billy? By the way, how can I reserve?
Reach out to me.
What's the website? Because we got Patrick Brown all over this. You know,
I will say this: the bourbon barbecue sauce will not appear on the website only because it's allocated. But the website is www.cafe305bbq.com.
Now, the rest of the sauces, are they available?
Yes, all the other sauces are available.
Sure.
So,
no, they're on his website for sure. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, we just came out with 4 new sauces. A blue cheese dipping sauce.
Oh.
Okay. And, we gotta try to be versatile.
That's
so we got a nice coleslaw mix.
Ooh.
We got a Alabama Slammer white barbecue sauce.
Ooh, that's different.
And listen, we try to be a little health conscious, so we also have a Caesar dressing.
Oh.
All right. Now, here's where we're gonna step our game up a little bit. So the 4 barbecue sauces that we have in total is the Alabama Slammer white barbecue sauce.
Yep.
And if you know anything about the Carolinas, we got a Carolina honey mustard barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good for chicken.
We have the OG, the original barbecue sauce.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have the sweet and tangy as well.
Oh yeah, there we go.
All right. Now, before I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit more about the sauce, but before we do, I know we're doing a giveaway tonight, but Joey, this is what I want you to do for me, and I appreciate you. The glasses and the sauce that you have there, I want you to put that in your pocket. What we're gonna do is this: you guys are gonna pick a winner, and then you guys are gonna contact me. I'm gonna give away the 4 barbecue sauces and a set of rocks glasses.
Ooh.
Whoa! Smoke the shoots, baby. You better all stick
That's
around.
the easy part and send the product out, but you guys go ahead and select the winner. So
Wow.
the
Yeah,
Carolina honey
Billy's taking us to the next level. All right.
Alabama Slammer, the original, the sweet and tangy, and 2 Cafe 305 rocks glasses.
Wow.
So where I made my sauce a little different, and I'll try to keep it quick. Normally, most barbecue sauces that you pick up in the grocery store are gonna have a baseline, and they all taste the same. There's really, if you close your eyes, you're not going to really be able to tell one from the other. So in total, we have 14 different sauces, and each and every one of them are totally different. So that's one thing. Also, we make all the sauce in-house right here in Miami. And as tough as it may be, Kafie 305 barbecue sauce will not even be made outside of Miami. Listen, if somebody told you they were making Jack Daniels in New York, would you believe it?
I believe it.
I'll
buy the Brooklyn Bridge if you want.
Right? They only make Jack Daniels one place. We all know that. So Kafie 305 barbecue sauce will only be made in Miami.
We might have to do a cook-off between Florida and Texas here.
Bring the heat, baby.
Oh, we got it. Come on.
Bring the heat.
Nice.
So with my sauce, it's not filled with your typical sugar and molasses. So one of the great benefits is you can cook with it, you can grill with it, you can throw it in the oven, and it will not burn.
Nice.
You can even marinate with it, which is different. And we've all left barbecue sauce in our refrigerator, and you go to pull it out. It takes an hour or so before you can do anything with it, right?
Yeah. Right.
Or if you ever leave barbecue sauce in a bowl or on a plate on your counter, you come back the next day, it's like putty.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So with all our sauces, they're completely pliable because they're not just filled with sugar and molasses and vinegar, and that's it. If you look at your regular basic barbecue sauce, those are the 3 ingredients, and then a bunch of stuff you can't even pronounce. No preservatives, no artificial flavoring, none of that. So that's what makes us so different. And when I tell you, I touch every bottle of barbecue sauce that we make. Make it, pack it, seal it, ship it, everything. So if you ever get a bottle of sauce that there's a problem, you reach out to me and I'll fix it immediately. And because I'm such a control freak, if you order sauce tonight, I promise you it will go out tomorrow.
Nice.
We got to put a special code, Frank.
Wow.
What do we do? Put a special code, and we got it will be a discount. I'm just asking because I want to promote this. Will there be a discount for our listeners tonight? Because I think we're going to have a lot of people jump on.
Listen, I'll throw a discount in there. Absolutely.
All right. So what's the code? Let's throw the code on there. So if you order tonight, your code will be
BB
barbecue.
Joey.
Should put down Joey the Chooch. And everybody,
no, don't do that. You want people to actually order, guys.
I think people are going to love just writing Joey the Chooch. So you put it in right now. Tonight. Put it on that website again. Kyle,
www.cafe, the numbers 305 bbq.com.
Perfect. Joey,
I want to thank Joey. That's it.
Perfect. On it already, by the way.
Bruce is ordering probably a case.
I want to thank Joey for reaching out to me. Great guy. I love his content. And just a little bit about myself. I've been smoking cigars. Wow, before my grandfather passed away. I'm 46 now. So I've probably been smoking cigars since I was about 17, 18.
Nice.
And I've been a bourbon and whiskey guy as long as I could swallow.
All right, I'll go along with that. I'll keep it clean.
It's so wild because while I can't remember it vividly, I can remember where things like Pappy and all that stuff was like bottom shelf stuff, and it was everywhere. And South Florida, Miami in particular, we have a decent bourbon whiskey scene. Some things we can't get, but amazingly enough, we have Eagle Rare collecting dust on the shelf.
Right.
That's unbelievable. I still haven't found the bottle in this area.
Yeah.
We're up in Central Florida.
Nothing here.
But, I've never seen Weller on the shelf. Never, ever in my life.
Really?
There was a time where Sazerac, you couldn't give it away down here in Miami. And now it's vanished. So, things change, but I've managed to get my hands on the Blood Oath. I've been lucky enough to score like I said, the Eagle Rares, the Buffalo Traces, and I don't know why.
Blanton's.
I had an opportunity to get 2 bottles of Stag Senior for like $300 each.
Ooh.
I went to go run an errand. I came back and it was gone.
Oh man!
I still have PTSD about that. So, but no. Again, Joey, thank you for reaching out. And if anybody have any questions, hit me up. Let me know. Talk to me. And for the specialty bourbon barbecue sauce.
Yes.
So you get the bottle of barbecue sauce, you get the flask, 2 glasses, you get coasters, and some other goodies, all for $55.
Oh man, put my order in.
And the way to do that, you reach out to me, send me a DM. You can pick your number from what's available. I'll write it down and I'll get it out to you. I will not put it on the website. It will never appear on the website. Even these beautiful rocks glasses, as Joey's know, you can't even get them on the website because we're building this VIP type of group.
Nice.
I'm not excluding anybody, but you have to do something to set yourself apart.
Right.
You
That's
know.
awesome.
And when you order, folks, put Joey the Chooch so he all knows you got it on this show. Okay.
There you go.
If you don't put Joey the Chooch, you're not going to get anything extra from me. All right.
Billy, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure,
man.
My pleasure.
That's
and
that's
for the discount
awesome.
code,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in right now.
All right.
Just simply type in Joey, and you're good to go.
Joey the Chooch.
Joey, I'm curious about that Alabama barbecue sauce. What would you Alabama Slammer? What would you say would be the perfect meat to put that on? Because I've never seen a barbecue sauce. That's a new one.
With the Alabama, it's a new sauce. So just to give you an idea, when I make a sauce, before I get to a particular stage where I'm happy with it, it takes me about 9 or 10 different tries. And I have to remember what I did all the other times before to get it right. So I would definitely say it's on the milder side. So like a chicken, a spare rib, something like that. Brisket usually carries a lot more salt and pepper, especially when you build that bark on the brisket.
Mhm.
It'll still be good, but just know because it is on the subtle side, that brisket is going to fight the Alabama a little bit. So chicken, ribs, it'll be absolutely perfect.
So I would go with poultry then with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's really it. Some of our bigger sellers, we have a Miami Heat hot sauce, which me and the wife, we did a farmer's market in Fort Lauderdale the last 3 weekends. And no matter how much we take, we come back empty-handed.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so people love the hot sauce. I actually have a tartar sauce for those people who like to make, fish or things like that.
Right.
And what we try to do as a company is every year we try to come out with 2 or 3 new sauces.
Nice.
So for next year, we're gonna have a burger sauce.
Ooh.
We're gonna have a vinegar-based barbecue sauce.
There you go. You're going Carolina with that now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're gonna do a Japanese barbecue sauce.
Oh wow!
A little miso.
There you go.
A little soy, a little miso. Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So I graduated culinary school in '97, and after culinary school, I spent 2 years in Japan working and 2 years in Italy working.
Oh
So
wow!
I gotta show a little love to Japan. It was nice.
Well, what about the Italians? Well, you get the Italian sauce.
Barbecue doesn't go over big in Italy.
Throw a little pesto. Make a little pesto.
A little pesto sauce.
Yeah. He was the only chooch in Italy. Dave and Ash, coming back to you for sake of time. You guys are the authority, as far as I'm concerned, in cigar pairings. Okay, and both of you hold or are working on a certain amount of certifications. If you could tell us about those and a little bit more about Leaf and Grain and where you guys are going with it.
Hey, Joey, time out, guys. If you don't mind, I just want to hold off for a second. I want Dave and Ash to think about that. But we do have to go to our sponsors, and we come back. We're definitely going to get into that whole conversation with you guys, okay?
Wow, Bruce is lucky. He was supposed to notify us.
Bruce is
He's too busy ordering. Are you kidding me? He's ordering all this stuff, brother.
Busy.
Hey, look at your order sheet. You see Bruce stuck there.
Bruce, I don't know. That's your first one.
Anyway, hold your thought, Dave and Ash. We're going to come back and hit you up in a second here. Frank, take it away with our sponsors.
This industry is steeped in family and tradition. You know, there's generational stuff, and I see it over and over, and yet I didn't come from that. Being the outsider looking in, I got to ask all the silly questions, and people were very accepting to want to give me all the right answers. I'm very thankful for those people who kind of allowed me to come in. Now with Alec and Bradley in the business, to have our company become generational, that's pretty cool.
Welcome to GTO Dominican Cigars, a boutique cigar company that artfully blends and creates some of the finest handmade puros from the Cibao Valley in the Dominican Republic. We are fourth-generation manufacturers and growers of tobacco with over 140 years of experience, offering a variety of styles, blends, and strengths. Mild, medium plus, and full-bodied. We would truly consider it an honor for you to experience our cigars. Those who know smoke GTO.
Before you light your next cigar, be sure to check out Cigar Medics, the makers of the patent-approved humidimeter. The humidimeter is a tool designed to display the relative humidity inside your cigar. With this device, there's no more guessing. Simply insert the probes into the foot or cap of your cigar, and you can instantly know if your cigar is ready to be smoked. Buy now on cigarmedics.com and see site for other cigar accessories. With the humidimeter, you'll know when to hold them and know when to smoke them.
Years in the making, the Chief cigar was born, blended, boxed, and released to market on June 26, 2015. This cigar was developed by former fire chief, firefighter, cigar aficionado Ken Dorbecker, and has grown into a signature firehouse cigar line. Including, of course, the Chief, a Nicaraguan Habano blend, Proby, a Connecticut Shade blend, All Hands, a Maduro Mexican San Andreas box press, and the brand new Fire Pole, a beautifully crafted San Andreas Habano barber pole. Join the Chief family and make us part of your humidor. R&A Treasures, out of Tampa Bay, Florida. The last of a legacy. The last of an inventory of Thomas Cristiano in a warehouse where everything is aged and well kept for all your pipe and smoking needs.
And we're back. All right. Thank you very much. Well, hit the share button, folks. Hit the share button because we've got a lot more to go here. Joey, what's tonight's prizes again?
We're going to be giving away an entire bottle. This is batch 73. Of the Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend Bourbon. For the pairing tonight, I'm actually going to be doing batch 65. And Billy also has 65. And you guys are going to be doing batch 64. There should be very much variation between the two batches. But also the Leaf and Grain Single Robusto cigar.
Fantastic.
That we're doing with the pairing. This is an incredible cigar, guys. And we're going to get into it here in a second. Also, the famous Don V cigar from Norwood Royal Cigars. This is the Don, Vic Shaw's personally blended cigar out of Honduras through Oscar Valladares. It's a Honduras Puro cigar, filler, wrapper, and binder, featuring a Corojo wrapper. You get nice chocolate and cocoa notes on there. Incredible cigar as well. And then all that stuff that Billy added to the prize tonight.
Hey, Joey, I have a question for you. Can you tell me what is the proof on the bourbon that we're sipping on tonight? Because I literally, when I say sip, I mean sip.
Okay, so the one that I'm doing is 65.47% ABV. And then you guys have that's Billy and I that we're doing 65, and then you guys have batch 64. What is it, Kyle?
We're doing we have 65.37.
All right.
On our batch.
First impression. This will kick your ass up and down the street without even taking any names. You will be left in the corner if you are not prepared. That's all I'm saying. This is not for the faint at heart, because I started it and I was like, I thought I was gonna cough up a lung, but you know,
I didn't know Frank was such a wuss.
No, look,
I didn't know he couldn't hold his liquor either. I'm learning a lot of new things right now.
It's not that I can't hold my liquor.
He's already had 2 bottles.
This liquor wanted to hold me. It really was. I mean, this is not, like I said, this is a very, very potent. It is a fox in sheep's clothing, because when you, like I said, you just do the aromatic on it, you think, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. This is sweet caramel.
I'm glad something finally wanted to hold you, Frank.
You know, don't look for Bob to do that. He can't hold.
You're thinking one thing, and it delivers the complete opposite.
I will tell you this. So one of my favorite pairings, like in the food industry, is the sweet and savory. I love the little spicy. I love it with the little sweet. And this is like that pairing to me. So I get a little bit of spice on this with the black pepper, and then I finish it off with a little bit of sweet in the bourbon. This is like heaven in my mouth.
Sweet on the bourbon? Where's sweet? There's nothing sweet about this bourbon at all, in my opinion.
We'll work on that. You stick with Red and I, and you'll be able to handle any fruit.
Right. Okay, so to the
at first
authority.
I was gonna say at first when you sent us, we're like, whoa, that's a huge sample. You know, I'm gonna have to be careful, but I think I'll kill off the bottle.
Yeah.
Ash will kick my ass.
I've only off half of the bottle, and so I'll probably finish it on the show, and then you have to go grab another pour.
Wait, Dave. I think you're boasting right now. There is no effing way you're doing that. Or if you are, I want an Instagram post after that, because I want to see exactly how much slurring you do.
Oh, believe me, he can do it. And again, back to the guys are the authority in pairings. Tell us about your certifications, what you're working on, and where you guys are going with this Leaf and Grain Society.
Before we get into that, I want to add 2 things to the prize.
Oh wow! Okay.
Oh, jeez.
We've got a Leaf and Grain pairing journal, which will walk you through how we do our pairings, how Red and I do our pairings when we do our
wow. Oh, wow. Nice.
So I mean, instructions. And there's a full pairing on there. And I will also throw in our notes wheel that we've created. But wait, that's not all.
There's more.
I'm going to throw in a Leaf and Grain glaring cast glass to the winner too.
Wow!
Really?
Oh!
Where is everybody? This is going to be this is our biggest
giveaway yet.
Yeah.
Is it Christmas?
Not yet. Sounds like it.
It's in October.
Wow.
All right.
My friends up north, they just had Thanksgiving.
The Canadians, eh?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, David Ash, take it away. How did this whole deal come together?
Okay, well, I'm going to let Graybeard go with his certification and everything, because he just he keeps racking them up. I can't keep up with them, so I'm going to let him go first.
So it's been about 2 or 3 years when I decided I wanted to go ahead and get my first certification. And being in IT, that's what's been paying the bills for the past 30 years. So certifications is kind of secondhand nature to me. It's kind of like in my bloodstream already. So I went and started studying for my bourbon steward and got my bourbon. Got hooked on the history and the story and the process of all of it. And so from there, I went in and signed up for a class with WSET, the Whiskey Spirits Education Trust, and got my level 1 with spirits, and was just blown away at all of the stories and all of the different processes and all of the different notes in each of the different spirits, from your cordials to your botanicals to vodka. And yes, you can get some notes out of vodka, which we'll talk in a minute. I'll let Red talk about that one. Tequilas, cognacs, and of course whiskeys. And I've been drinking whiskey. I got my start in whiskey and Scotch probably about 10 or 15 years ago, and then moved into bourbons and rye and the different American whiskeys. After that, I started studying for my International Association of Cigar Sommeliers, IACS, and I'm one test away from completing that. And that one, as hard as the WSETs and the Bourbon Steward was, that one was me away as far as the intensity of what you have to do to complete that one. And then just recently, the day before I left for Tampa, which was Thursday of last week, and got back on Sunday, I finally got the scores after waiting for 8 weeks for my WSET level 1 in wine. So now I'm a certified spirits specialist and a certified wine specialist. I can't call myself a sommelier because I don't work as a I don't serve wine.
You're not serving it, right?
Right.
But he serves me wine.
I do. and I talk a lot about wines and pair a lot with wines and spirits. So with leaf and grain, we each have our specialty. So my specialty is with cigars, is pairing them with all the different wines and with your different spirits, primarily whiskeys. But there's a lot of bleed overs with it, and I'll talk about Spiceman, our other partner. So as I said, he's a classically trained chef. He's trained and cooked with some of the top well-known chefs, on food TV and around. But he also has a good amount of knowledge and can specialize in beer and wine. So we have that crossover there. So Red, you go on about your areas of specialty and what you're working on.
Okay. And I'm working on becoming a certified tobacconist. And also my beer certification. I love craft beer. I love stout. And then coffee, a lot. Everyone's like, oh, it goes so good with this black coffee or the Cuban coffee. There's actually more coffees out there where they roast the flavor. And we were actually fortunate enough, never in my wildest dreams would I ever have thought that we would create our own coffee. And we actually had the privilege of creating a whiskey coffee. It was done in dry aged barrels, and it was roasted. And that was a coffee that you could pair with any cigar. It didn't matter what cigar it was. It was always a good, combination of it. And I'm going to probably contribute that to the whiskey because I haven't had like a bad pairing with whiskey. I don't think that's possible. But, and then also with teas. So that is my specialty and things that I enjoy with it. And then that I like to do. And then we also, one thing that it crosses over is with the food. I have a smoker. I love smoking. I'll throw down on some burnt ends and some that Alabama sauce. My mama's from Alabama, so learned how to cook and throw down in the kitchen from my granny and my mama. And it's just when you said that white Alabama, the first thing is I do beer can chicken, and that's like one thing is like really. Whenever you're pairing your beers to your chickens to your cigars, and then you're smoking your cigars, because like Texas, we're hot all the time. So except for February, we like to snow and have it frozen out. So that's basically the only month I really don't get to fire up my smoker. But it's whenever you have, and you can testify to this, when you're smoking your meat, you smell it. So you're getting those flavors, you're getting that in the nose, and you want to pair it with a cigar because that impacts your pairing. Even though you're smoking some meat, it has an impact on it. And then, I'll drink a stout, I'll drink some bourbon, some beer, IPA. It just kind of depends on my mood. So that kind of crosses over. So it's like a happy marriage. I don't want to say happy marriage because that doesn't seem right. But it's a beautiful
in a way.
Well, it's a beautiful partnership with Graybeard and Spiceman because we all overlap in our areas and we help each other out. So, and I think that's what makes Sleeping Grain.
I had a question about
unique.
the whiskey coffee that was aged in whiskey barrels. Is that a dark roasted blend or medium roast?
It was medium roast.
Medium.
Okay.
Medium.
Yeah, and it was dry barrel aged.
Mm-hmm.
So where a lot of we're not the only ones that's ever done a whiskey infused or whiskey aged coffee, but a lot of them will do where they'll put the coffee beans and they'll soak it in the whiskey, and so you still get some of that ethanol, and you don't get any of the ethanol. So it was put into a barrel that was rotated on a daily basis for 2 weeks, and then set out for another 2 weeks before it was sent to the roaster, and then it was roasted to a medium roast.
Great.
And you got all of the bourbon notes and bourbon flavors of it. Even 10 months later, I open up a bag of it, and it still just comes out along with the coffee beans, and you get that when you're sipping on it as well. And it doesn't matter if a press or a pour over, or you're lazy ass like me and I just do a drip. I got to do all that fancy bougie type stuff.
And listen, you guys you're speaking my language. At home, I have a 120-gallon offset smoker.
Nice.
Live fire. I use hickory, apple, and oak. And for me, so let's say if I'm doing a brisket, 4 or 5 briskets, 12 hours, I will tend to my fire. But while I'm watching my fire, I actually lay my cigars out as to what cigars I'm gonna have, and it tells me where I'm at in my cook. So I might have like 6 or 7 cigars. I'll pull out 2 or 3 different bottles. And listen, when you're managing your fire, I don't do anything else. I'm not in the house. I'm outside, sitting, enjoying the weather, having a cigar, working on the business. And there'll be days when I do that. I'm not on my phone. I don't turn on the TV. I will literally be outside for 12 hours. I'll come in, do whatever I need to do. But other than that, and it does make a difference. Like when that fire is going, it will kind of dictate what I'm gonna drink, if I'm gonna have it neat, if I'm gonna have it on the rocks, what cigar. If I want something lighter, like a Connecticut, usually I finish with like something really heavy, like a Rosario number 9, the Padron. I'm lucky enough here in Miami, I can walk into the Padron headquarters and get anything I want. I was very fortunate to actually have a cigar with an old man before he passed.
Wow.
And Nick Perdomo is 5 minutes from my house.
There you go.
Love Nick. Good person, good friend.
Yeah. So, when I am, running my smoker, it's a thing. Like, don't bother me. The world could be burning to the ground, and
it's that peacetime, and I think it's kind of like carries over to like when you're enjoying your cigar, and when you're enjoying your bourbon. In order to get like a true pairing, we talk about this on the show. If we're gonna write an article, because that's part of when you check out our website, the letter N, not N, but Leaf and Grain Society .com. When you check us out, we have, we go into deep detail about it. And when you're pairing a cigar and you really want to get the notes and you really want to like dissect the pairing, you have to have that piece. You can't be bothered. You have to it's that solitude that you really have to get. So you're not missing any of those flavors. Or notes. You're not missing the intensity. You're not missing any of that. So you can write a good review. So, right. And it's like what you were saying with the woods, it does play into when you're smoking along with your cigar. It does change the flavor. So I do the same thing. I lay it all out and I know where I'm going because I've done it for 24 hours, but it was pouring down rain on me for my daughter's graduation. And then it also determines the bourbon what I'm going to pour into my burnt end because I use different bourbons depending on the flavor that I want.
Yeah. And that's the way that we look at all of our cigar pairings. As when we first starting out, I mentioned that we break the cigars down. So part of what we teach or what we do is all around what's the profile of that cigar, what's the blend of the cigar. So, you've got maybe a dozen main types of seeds that the cigar plant will grow from. The Corojo and Criollo being really one of the originals, and Corojo is a hybrid of that. And then we know about the Habano, we know about the Sumatra, and so forth. You've got the broadleaf. There is no leaf that's called a Connecticut. It's a broadleaf that grows in Connecticut and has Connecticut style and a Pennsylvania style. But there's no leaf that's called a Connecticut. So we take those down and we break down the types of notes that you're going to get as base notes out of those cigars, and then look at the terroir that you have. So whether or not this is an Ecuadorian Habano, which is going to give you completely different notes than a Honduran Habano, and then a Nicaraguan or a Dominican Republic Habano. So we break those down, look at those types of flavors that you get, and you take that and you pair that to your drink or you pair that to your food. So the reason why we like to pair the cigar to the drink is because you always pair the most complex to the latter complex. Now, comparing it to food, where the flavors that you get out of food is quite complex. So then it's a matter of what's going to complement each other on them, because your cigar is not going to change the notes of your food, and your food can change the notes of your cigars.
Right.
So we'll go from cigars to wine, cigars to whiskey, cigars to drinks, and then from there we look at different types of pairings. From a complementary pairing where similar notes will complement each other, to a contrast pairing where one note, say like a peppery note in a cigar, kind of like as we're getting down into the final thirds of ours, where
much more pepper
spices up.
Yep.
I would do a contrast pairing, so maybe with a wheated bourbon where it's going to be a little bit sweeter, so it kind of balances those out and allows some of those subtle notes to come up.
Right.
And then on occasion we get what we call the perfect balance pairing, where everything just hits on every single aspect of it so perfectly that it just kind of blows your mind and makes you sit back and go, wow, that was something else.
Yeah.
So, now,
you were saying they were awesome in this. We say it's perfect marriage, and if it's really phenomenal, it's an orgasm in your mouth.
I want everybody to take a look at Ash's glass right now. And I learned this from Ash. Ash, if you want to run us through how to properly smoke your bourbon or your whiskey.
Okay. So I did have a little smoker for my whiskeys, and where you get the cherry wood, you get that in. But what I tend to do is, I'm smoking. I have smoke right here, so you get it and you puff, and it works best with a Glencairn.
Ooh,
So this is the poor man's way to smoke your whiskey right here. So you blow it in, And the Glencairn just like embraces it, and it, as you notice, it keeps it. And if I want to tilt it a little bit so some of the smoke can come out, I can do it that way. You know, your northeast, all that, and then kind of switch it around, and it totally changes the flavor of your cigar. So you're getting that smoke, so on that. And for those who can't really retrohale that much, it's also another good way to taste that retrohale.
Another way to retrohale, if you can't retrohale, so not everybody can, is to take in a nice big draw, and then puff your cheeks up, and smoke will actually naturally come up in through your sinus passages here. And a big part of where we get our notes from is from our sinus passages. And then there's also a way where you can retro when you're drinking. And retro when you're drinking is when you're taking a sip in, you're breathing in while you're taking a sip. Now, Frank may not want to do this because this is 66.35%.
Yeah, he might be passed out on the floor. We might have to take him off the floor.
He's a wuss.
By the way, I did do your smoke trick, and it was a significant difference. And it actually, what it did was it mellowed the bourbon completely. So it actually made the bourbon, for my palate, not stinging. So it totally changed my experience. Thank you very much.
Took some of the heat off?
It took the heat off.
Huh.
These are just some of the few next level tips that we're going to get from the Leaf and Grain Society, the Twisted Pair. And so the Leaf and Grain Society, tell us more about it. What are your goals with it? And get into your cigar a little bit as well.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the cigar first. And first, I've got to give shout out to some very good friends of ours that was in the cigar industry, and they're still in the cigar industry, but now as consumers, and that's Providencia Cigars. Yes. You may or may not have heard them, but a very good friend of ours, who's one of the owners, of Providencia. He reached out to us and said, do you want to put a label on a cigar? And I was like, absolutely. Let me know what blends you have. And he said, okay, well, let me give you a couple of samples. And so Ash Red and Spiceman and I, we all tried the different samples. And so we picked up on this one. Now, moving forward, we do want to work closer with, preferably with Noel Rojas, who is the blender behind this one, and work with him closer in the future of coming up with our own other blends on top. So this is going to be our standard house cigar. We call it the LNG, but we're also looking to have a gray beard, the one that fits my profile and what it is I really enjoy, an Ash Red and a Spiceman. So moving forward, that's what we want to do with cigars. With what we want to do with this, with Leaf and Grain Society, we're all about, primarily about education. Ash Red has been in education her entire career. I've been in education on the technical side most of my career. So our passion is about teaching people who want to take their pairing of cigars to that next level that Joey G has coined for us, and we're kind of taking ownership for it. We're taking that one on, but
yeah,
we want to teach people how to really learn how to identify notes, identify flavors, being able to go into a humidor and pick out a cigar based upon the blend of it and know exactly what kind of notes that they're going to get out of it, and then go and look at their bar or go to a restaurant and know exactly what they want to get. I mean, I've got 250, 300 bottles of whiskey on my bar sitting right in there. And I've got 80 bottles of wine sitting in a wine fridge right over here. I can pick up a cigar and go and know exactly what it is that I want to pair with that, and know exactly what's going to happen with it if I've had the cigar before and I've had, and I know about the blends of the wines and the whiskey.
Right.
And that's what we want to share with that.
Right. Because
So-
it enhances it. It just makes it takes like, you're in, we look at it and, for me, as like Graybeard said, I'm in education. And what I do is I'm an educational diagnostician. Oh, you got the number 2.
I'm just showing how far I'm smoking this thing down.
Yes. Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
cigar.
It goes to the thing. But it's part of enjoying that is taking it to the next level, because I mean it just enhances the experience so much more. I mean, you can enjoy it, but why not take it to the next level? Why not enhance it and say, it's something that you want to remember? So
I mean, we're spending a lot of money on each of these. I mean, cigars are not cheap. I mean, come on. A cheap cigar is $8 to $9. Unless you're really going down to to house blends, or you're getting your short filler type cigars.
Right.
Whiskeys, you're going to spend on average anywhere from $35 to $50 for a decent bottle of whiskey. And I know that these ones that we're sipping on now, these are $150 to $180 bottles. So this is an investment. Even with your wines, I mean, a cheap wine, still a good wine, is going to be $15 to $20 up to hundreds of dollars. So you might as well enjoy it. This is an investment in our lifestyle.
Yes.
It's not.
Right.
So we want to take that. We want to teach people how to take that to the next level. So how are we doing that? Well, we have our weekly podcast. That's the Twisted Pair, which is Ash Red and myself, and we'll have guests come on the show. And if we don't have a guest come on the show, then we're going through a pairing. And we oftentimes have our audience will challenge us with a type of pairing. So like last week, they challenged us to pair with a soda. And so we're going to have to kind of revisit that a little bit to try to come up with find a good pairing, which I know we.
Yeah. And it was funny because we ended up, we tried, and I had a flight of sodas. I had a flight because I was ready, right? And because sodas just maintains. And, usually we, Graybeard and I enjoy boutique cigars. So you get that transition. You get your first third, second third, and third, and the final. And we go through all of that on the show. And we ended up going to bourbon.
Yeah, we both snuck out, put our camera on
pause.
Put our camera on pause and went and grabbed a Ford to come back. But that's one of the things that we do. We've got our YouTube channel where we've got some of our videos posted out there. We are coming out with some other YouTube segments where we're going to be pairing cigars with foods, pairing cigars specifically with beers, and talking about in depth on specific types of pairings that isn't your straight normal, because we all know pairing with rum, pairing with coffee, pairing with whiskey, pairing with tequila. Those are your standard normals ones. So we want these other two segments to break off from that. We have our website, which is Leaf and Grain Society. So you can get to it by Leaf and or leafandgrainsociety.com. And if one of the viewers, Bert, if you can post the link, that way they can put it up, that would be awesome. So we've got the website. I'm also a whiskey network writer, so I write for the newsletter and the magazine, and all of my writings are all focused around either journeys through the whiskey world, or journeys through the cigar world, or teaching you how to do some of the stuff that we're talking about. But the big one that we're really excited that we're going to be launching in 2023 is the Leaf and Grain Society certification program. So we're taking all of our education that we're doing, and we're going to be putting together a certification program to certify you as a cigar pairing associate, which would be the first level, cigar pairing expert, which would be the second level, and then the master cigar pairing master, the master level. And it's going to be covered.
And I volunteer to be the guinea pig.
We plan on using you as a guinea pig. We will have a number of different beta testers for the associate level. But when you're done, even when you're done with the associate level, you're going to be able to talk in depth about Dominican Republic cigars, Honduran cigars, and Nicaraguan cigars. You're going to be able to talk in depth about your whiskeys and your wines at an in-depth level. Expert level, we're going to add in the rest of the regions, and you're going to be able to talk about your beers and your coffees and your teas. And then at the advanced level, because of how, I mean, the master level, but how challenging it is to pair to foods, that's where the master level comes in. So that's what we've got.
And you can even pair it with sour gummy worms and wine and a good cigar. It's been done.
Wow.
So that's what we have coming up for that.
Awesome. And the cigar, could you take us through what we're going to experience on your cigar as we go from first to second to final third?
Red, you want to take that one?
Man. So, and if you look at our cigar is like a closed foot. So we've even talked about, so I have the beautiful Don V here.
Nice.
Awesome. I'm not very good. So you look at it and it is an open foot because it's all exposed. Ours is a closed. So when you were talking about when you got that first hit, you could taste that pepper right off the bat. It's because it's a closed foot, but you also got that floral and you got the cocoa from the San Andreas, correct? Yep. So at the first, you get all of those in the first third. And then the second, that pepper kind of goes down a little bit and you get the sweetness of the cocoa from the San Andreas. And then back in the final third, you pick up that pepper again, and it's more, I don't want to say it's like a black pepper, it's more of a white pepper because it's a little bit more intense on that one.
Interesting.
And then going into the second third and final third there?
Going into the second third is where a lot of your creamier notes are going to start coming out. And that's from the jalapa in the long fillers. And so you're still going to have those chocolatey notes and those cocoa notes that Red was talking about, and you may even pick up some coffee notes throughout it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're going to get some of the creamy notes as you're coming into the second third, and then as you start transitioning into the final third of it, that's where it really starts picking up, and you're going to start picking up some black pepper. Some may pick up white pepper, which I was in a discussion with Bruce Bosch over the weekend, who's from Karen Berger Cigars.
Yep. We know Bruce. Yep.
And he was saying that he doesn't like the classification of white pepper. And I came back and I said, I typically classify something as a white pepper to where it's not as intense as your black pepper or your peppercorn.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, if you got those intensity levels.
Yep.
Which I'm going to come back to intensity in just a second. And Joey knows where I'm going with on this one.
Yeah.
You have those intensity levels of through the white, through the black, and the peppercorn, and you can tell that when you're cooking as well, to where you get similar, but it's just how bold that those are up in front of your face. And so that's why I do call white pepper. So some may pick up white pepper, some may pick up black pepper. Yep. I pick up definitely black pepper, especially in the final third and the retro hell.
Without a doubt, Dave, that's what I get. I get that intense black pepper, but the cocoa is still very much present there.
Yes.
Very much. And you get a little bit of, I'll call it more baking spice on my palate. I'm getting that kind of like nutmeggy.
Yep.
So I'm getting that as well. Beautifully crafted cigar. Nothing but kudos on this stick.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and I want to say someone was asking about if there was a code for the underground for it. They do our stick, and we haven't asked them for a code for that. So we don't have a code. I'm sorry.
but I'm going to blow your mind on the price point on this cigar. But first, you guys tell me what do you think the price point for this cigar would be?
I'm going to say $11 to $12.
Yeah, $10.
$8.99.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I would figure to be a $10 stick all day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All day, any day.
Well, this
$8.99.
This is an $899 stick right now from Underground. Now we are in the process of picking up our getting our tobacco permit. We've got a few things that we need to do with that, and so when we're able to get our tobacco permit, then we'll be able to make this available at other stores as well. But Underground forever and always will be our home. In fact, we have a hashtag that's called UG for life, and that will always be our home.
Perfect.
Yeah, and Billy, you were telling us a little bit about your expectations or desire on a cigar. Did this cigar do that for you? What is it?
It more than met my expectations, and for me, I have a tendency to stick to what I know, and I'm not against trying new cigars or anything like that. But for me, when I buy a cigar, I have expectations of it, and this met all my expectations from the very beginning. It was a very easy smoke. When I had it with a little bit of the Joseph Magnus, but I had it with just water so I can get the full impact of the cigar.
Yep.
And I can tell you that cigar here in Miami, that cigar here in Miami would be a $10 stick all day. I don't care where you get it from. And so here in Miami, we have that community that people will pay for quality products. Nobody's going to fight you on that price. So it's a very well-constructed cigar. And I have a tendency to be hard on new cigars because I have such high expectations from cigars. You know, we all know there's great sticks out there for $8, $9. We all know there's horrible sticks out there for $15.
That's right.
Yep.
So expectations that you have when you've been smoking cigars as long as I have, right off the bat, if something's not right, if it doesn't draw well, if it doesn't even just hold together, if it doesn't burn well, I mean, all that stuff comes into play. So for me,
absolutely.
I was pleasantly surprised because I didn't have a really well working knowledge of the cigar. And the reason I did that is because I didn't want to prejudge it.
Right.
I tried not to go off reviews that people say because sometimes, oh yeah, you know what, it does have too much pepper. When really and truly, that thing has kind of been implanted not only in your head but on your palate as well.
Yeah, and the same holds true with the whiskey side. And I'm going to briefly bring us to the whiskey here. I'm going to read this, so bear with me. When it comes to this Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend Bourbon, this is again, I'm doing batch 65. This is blended by Master Magnus blender Yancey Fraley. It was released in the winter holiday season during the December of 2021. Batches 60 through 71, consisting of 14 to 20-year-old bourbons blended and finished in Armagnac casks, pays homage to the Christmas season as the 12 blends of Christmas. So this hazmat batch 65 that I'm doing, titled 6 Geese a Laying, is 130.44 proof, which is 65.22% ABV. And it's going to have intense aromas of dried apricots, minced meat pie, and dates and syrup coming from the Armagnac barrel. And I'm going to let Dave talk about I'm going to call it the grand finale boldness level of this cigar in the final third here, and then we'll get into the pairing.
Or we say intensity.
we see intensity and boldness. I don't like the description of a cigar being as strong or as body. And hear me out. Here's why. There's no perfect classification of what strength is. If we're considering strength as the nicotine and the acidity level. The longer a cigar ferments, the more maturation phases it goes through. Or in other words, the easier way to say it, the longer it ages, the more that acidity level and that fermentation that nicotine level comes down.
Right.
A cigar, when you get it brand new, is going to be really high in acids. It could be really high in nicotine, depending upon the priming of the leaves that it's chosen. But it's absolutely going to be really high in ammonia. And so we typically consider that as a strong cigar. Well, a body of a cigar, for most of us, comes down to the amount of smoke that's in, or how heavy that smoke feels in your mouth. Well, the heavier the smoke feels in your mouth, that brings out the flavors more and makes the flavors more prominent for you. But depending upon how you cut your cigar, if you cut your cigar with a V cut or a guillotine cut or a punch cut, that's going to concentrate that smoke or decrease it or increase it. And so that could theoretically bring out less smoke or more smoke in. So it's not fair to say a cigar is very, it's full body, but it's the flavors are not really there. Okay, so now we take the flavors and we combine the description of the flavors, the strength, and we say the strength, may be more in the peppery content of it, and the body of it, so the smoke and the intensity of it. So how intense are those flavors? Are those flavors just boom, bold, right in front of your face, like you guys were talking about, being able to pick up the notes just by nosing the foot and the cap and nosing it along the cigar. The flavors of it and what's the intensity level of those flavors, and then understanding the types of flavors that you get. Because Red and I can both tell you about Connecticut color cigars.
Right.
Where people will say, oh, I don't want a full body cigar, so I'm going to go with a Connecticut. And that cigar is going to be a kick you in the ass type of cigar.
Right. Yeah.
We all know.
For example, like a porcelain.
Porcelain. Yes, exactly. The porcelain by BLTC. That is that's a Connecticut broadleaf leaf for the wrapper on that. But because of the primings of the blend in those ligeros, and those ligeros are coming from Esterly and Condego, you got that volcanic regions. There's the terroir that's bringing out those strong peppery notes, and so it really kicks you in the ass on that one.
Right.
That's what we're talking about on intensity.
Right.
So and the other thing that we're trying to change with Leaf and Grain Society is stop describing a cigar as a Maduro and stop thinking that a Maduro cigar is a strong cigar, in the previous terminology, because Maduro means ripe. Oscuro means very dark, as far as the translation of go.
Yeah.
And those colors come out during that fermentation process. And that brings out, remember I said fermentation, the longer it's fermented, more of those nicotine and acid and acidity notes
go down.
Drop. Yep.
The more the sweetness of that leaf comes forward. So actually a Maduro, one of the sweetest cigars up front at the start of it is the Ave Maria Reconquista, which is a Brazilian Modafina Habano wrapper. And it's an Oscuro wrapper. I mean, it is very dark, but you're going to get black fruits. You're going to get dark cherries. You're going to get raspberries. You're going to get some stone fruits in there right off the bat on the kick of that. And a lot of people would turn away from that cigar because of the color.
Right.
Yeah. And you're missing out.
You're missing out. You're absolutely missing out.
And the final third, approaching the tail end of this this smoking experience, what are we getting, Dave or Ash?
Go ahead, Ash.
Well, we talked about the pepper, but then you also, for me, I'm getting that cocoa, that sweetness of that, that cocoa, and it comes back to where it's perfectly, as I said, it's a perfect marriage. of that sweetness and spiciness at the very end.
Yeah, I get the same, and along with Frank, I get a little bit of nutmeg, and some people don't understand doing this. When you bring your cigar to your mouth, take the tip of your tongue and touch the cap, touch the cut on it, and that's going to bring out other flavors. And so that's where I get some of that nutmeg, some of those spices, a little bit of turmeric, so I get a little bit of earthy notes from it. Yeah, absolutely, the cocoa and the for me the black pepper. But I've heard people mention more of the white pepper. And I've even heard some people mention more of a cinnamon type, so a little bit of a sweeter pepper type note with it. So through the combination of it, and then back to Billy's point that he made earlier, I never read a review before I smoke a cigar. I never read a review before I sip a whiskey that's new to me, because we are easily influenced. There's the notes that we pick up. There's two ways that you can pick up notes. The way that Leaf and Grain Society does is we do it all on the psychological basis of your memories, starting off with what you and then using a pairing wheel to drill down. Cigar Sense, out of Italy, talking about our Italian family, Cigar Sense, she does it all on the scientific basis. So the science around your taste bud and how scientifically how those chemical changes will create that creaminess type notes of it. So two different completely directions in the way that we identify notes, and both work beautifully together.
Right.
And people not aware, but even your environment has a lot to do with how a cigar is going to start and how it's going to finish. You know, if you have a cigar after a rainy day and it's really humid, you know, your cigar is going to burn different. It's going to taste different. Even if you're sitting in the lounge and there's 10 people and everybody's smoking a different cigar, that can have an influence. You know, somebody telling you something about the cigar can have an influence on you. You know, having a cigar when you're tired or first thing in the morning. So really, flavors can really take a lot of different directions, even based on your environment.
We actually did a show on that. It was called Mood Pairing.
Yes.
You know, and the psychology of it, because that's my background in psychology. And we talked about, like, you know, and it's kind of where you go into food. Like, you know, when you have happy thoughts or something, you're going to go for something that reminds you of home, that makes you happy, you know, and that's kind of what we do with our cigars and our bourbons. And we might do that with our coffees, teas, whatever. So that psychology plays a huge part behind what you're going to smoke, what you're going to drink, and how you take the pairing. It takes it to, like, as we said, another level. And I don't think that, you know, sometimes we don't realize that what we go to might be for like a comfort or whatever, but in the back of our mind, that's what it does. And a lot of people ask, like, we get this question all the time. I've been smoking cigars for almost 26 years, and people are like, oh, what's your favorite? Or what are you going to smoke or whatever? And I always tell them it depends on my mood. It really depends on my mood.
Is my favorite bourbon or my favorite whiskey, my favorite cigar is the one that's in my hand.
That's right.
Absolutely. And
absolutely.
Whatever.
Even for me, with my bourbon barbecue sauce, and I'll let you guys in on this. So for me, it wasn't just throwing bourbon in my barbecue sauce. Once I mixed that batch, I actually put it in a barrel inside a cooler, like a walk-in cooler. At least this way I could make sure and ensure the life of the sauce itself, because I wanted it to pick up those characteristics. And again, when you taste my bourbon barbecue sauce, it's going to be like something you've never tasted before. So I don't want people to judge it. I don't want people to think, oh, it's going to be just another bourbon kind of thing. If you see something that says a bourbon barbecue sauce, it's a bourbon flavoring. There's no real bourbon in it. And I actually went through the step and used a barrel and real bourbon.
Well, like I said earlier, please go ahead and take my money now, because I want to buy it.
Well, no,
I know, and I'm like, man, those 10 spots are already taken, and we're on the show. That's not fair. That's not fair.
Now, just to let you know that Bruce Stark has already ordered 5 of your cigars.
Yes, thank you.
And Billy, he's already ordered 1 of each of your bourbon sauces.
Yes,
So,
and the order will go out. Listen, that order will be in the post office by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.
All right. I'll let you know.
And I also want to say, like, another thing that, like, Burt B. Smoking or, like, Albert Hernandez, weather plays a huge impact on what you choose to smoke as well. That's, like, one thing that we hadn't talked about is, like, you know, it gets hotter than heck down here in Texas, as we know. So a lot of times during the summer, I'm going for the lighter and, you know, the IPAs, the Candelas, and things like that, just because it is too daggum hot. So, like, there's a lot of factors that go into the cigars. And so we kind of get behind that, too. And I love the fact, like, and it's so funny that you said that this was like the 12 days of Christmas, because when we nosed it, you know, we talk about whenever you have a Glencairn and you smell it, a lot of people make the mistake is they dip their nose right into the glass, and you're going to pick up that ethanol. And there's certain ways that you nose it, and, you know, and I was guilty. I was that person that was right here. And there's certain ways you have to hold it the direction of the north, south,
and back to that 12 days of Christmas, the batch 64 that everyone else aside from Billy and I are drinking is batch 64, and that is known as the 5 Golden Rings batch. And I'm going to bring us now to the pairing when it comes to pairing this leaf and grain or the LNG single Robusto cigar with this Joseph Magnus cigar blend. I describe it as the boldest and darkest double fudge brownie covered in melted caramel with a beautiful bright red maraschino cherry on top. The pairing creates beautiful, spicy, dark orchard fruit cake and chocolate cereal notes that tingle and linger on the palate.
I love the way that you described that, and I love that you brought that out, because this is something that we talk a lot about. One, I can guarantee you that you're not picking up double chocolate out of this. You're not picking up, you know, that fruit cake. But what you're talking about right now is it brings back a memory. Something, it brings back some kind of memory. And so what we want to do is we want to teach people to say, okay, it's bringing back a fruit cake. Now, what is it about that fruit cake that I'm tasting? Okay, so now I'm going down in there, and in this pairing, what you just, I mean, I get you right off the bat. I would have said that I'm picking up a little bit, you know, some dried fruits on there. So maybe some dried apricots, some dried peaches, some dried fruits, maybe a little bit of potpourri and those types of floral notes on that. But it's your memory that drives you down to that.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful. This is a beautiful pairing. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't been able to sit and focus, because when Red and I do an article, we've got our pairing journal sitting here with us, and if you go back
our pairing wheel,
and if you go back to last month's Whiskey Network magazine, wrote an article about how to go through this, and I tell people, eliminate your distractions. Talk to your husband, your wife, your kids. Like, you need to leave me alone for the next 2 hours, because I'm going to go through this. Have your water with you to cleanse your palate, and go through every single third. Pause, take a moment of silence, so to speak, and think about what kind of memories that it is that's coming up, and then go to your pairing wheel and look to see where you're drawn to, and then write that down. And after you've done that first third, and then you cleanse your palate, go to your drink, what are you getting out of that drink? Even before you get to your first third, get into your second third of your cigar, then go from cigar to drink and do that, and then go from drink to cigar and do that, and then you repeat that process for the second, third, and final third, which is why it takes so much time.
And I'm curious, is everybody on board with me with the description of how this cigar pairs with this whiskey?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And this is something that I want to bring up now. So I'm getting down to my final third on my bourbon.
Oh, I've already started over.
I know. We've started over. You need to catch up.
I know. But what's interesting was after basically blowing smoke into here, what I'm getting now is when I bring it up to my nose, I have this very, very interesting smoky additive that is totally changing my opinion of this bourbon when I first had it. Like, you'll go back.
He likes it.
Show.
He liked it before.
I like
he really loves it.
I really like it now. Where before it kind of shocked me because I'm not, that 125 proof. It took my tongue and sent it into all kinds of different directions. But now it's like this is a piece of cake. And that smokiness just changed the bourbon in a way that really, I think, made me appreciate the bourbon where I didn't before. So all of a sudden, it clicked in my mind. It's like, wait, this is really excellent. So thank you, Ed, for bringing that to the foreground here, because that smoke is still lingering in the legs of this bourbon, and it's just dropping into the bourbon, and it's just totally changed my experience to make it really phenomenal.
And my next question before we head into our last round of sponsorship, Billy, how does a barbecue chef, and I think you touched on this a little bit earlier, but I want you to explain to us how does a barbecue chef take his or hers cigar pairings to the next level?
Okay, so the advice I would give, and this not only applies to bourbons but cigars as well. If you want to take your notes and everything to the next level, be open to change, be open to new things. Don't get hooked on unicorns or hard to get items, whether it's cigars or bourbons. If you're in any one of these worlds, it's a luxury item. So keep yourself open to stuff that's not super expensive. Open yourself up to stuff that's cheap,
right?
Because you never know what you might like.
Exactly.
What I would say is anything new that you're trying, give it a fair chance. Smoke the whole thing, pour yourself 2 fingers or something, go through the whole process of it. I will say that. I don't consider myself to be a snob. I have some hard to get cigars. I have some hard to get bottles. But anytime somebody's getting into this world, I don't want anybody to go into it thinking, oh God, I got to spend $25 on the Opus X or this, that, or the other. There's so many things out there.
Like this Still Austin out of Texas. So this is probably about $30. It's incredible. And I tried the cast strength for the first time last night at a whiskey event, and that is about $60 MSRP, and just an unbelievable whiskey, especially the cast strength version. And this just nails it on the head when it comes to Billy's point here. And I'm representing Texas here a little bit with the whiskey. But this is definitely got to get your hands on this, especially the cast strength version. And I know my friends here in Texas are going to agree.
So, and if I would say anything, when you're gonna start out with either a bourbon or a cigar, make sure that your palate is clean. You know, some fresh fruit, some water, Because a lot of times, if you have something that was super spicy or super bitter, it's going to influence what you taste, how you taste it.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, how many of us have ever made a tragic mistake of brushing our teeth and having OJ?
Oh, yeah, you can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, no,
You know what I'm saying?
when I do these pairings, and I know I'm going to be doing a pairing, especially for the magazine, and I'm going to write about it. I literally will not eat for hours before doing the pairing itself, just to make sure that my palate is fresh. I might have bad breath, whatever, but I want to really get into that pairing in its freshest level.
And from a safety standpoint, what I would tell anybody, again, bourbons, whiskeys, even with cigars, know the lane that you're in. You know, if you're a brand new driver, you don't jump in a Ferrari and hit the Autobahn. You're not gonna go very far. So don't go picking up some bottle that's 120 proof. Don't go getting some cigar that's just gonna hammer you into the ground and you're gonna be blue outside. You know, so and again, I want to educate our viewers, somebody who's thinking about getting into any one of these worlds. You know, think about costs, think about your taste buds, think about what you're into, and don't get caught up on the hype. Don't get caught up on the hype. I can tell you some of the hardest cigars to get, bourbons and whiskeys, I've got because of the community I've built with friends and things like that all around the country. So don't go thinking, you know what, I don't feel like I'm in this because I don't have 8 bottles of Stags and Poppy. Listen, that stuff is cool to look at and whatnot, but there's so much other stuff out there that you can get your hands on.
I don't have a single bottle of Stag. I don't have a single bottle of Pappy. And I'm with you 100%. That's why we say, I mean, our hashtag is explore the pairings. And
there's something for everyone.
We tell everyone, do not be afraid to go and look at the bottom shelf for your whiskeys. Don't be afraid to look at the bottom shelf for your wines. Don't be afraid to look at the bottom shelf for your cigars. I mean, the one that we're talking about here is it's an $8.99. It's a $9 cigar, which is cheap for a cigar.
Yeah.
You could find some really good house blends for $5 a cigar and have them.
Absolutely.
And I'm curious. Anybody on the board tonight, if anybody wants to add anything to what they're getting on this pairing with the cigar and the whiskey.
I got walnut on the cigar. I got some nutmeg on the Joseph Magnus. I knew it was going to be hot, but I took it neat and just went slow with it. You know, so I allowed my palate to adjust to the heat.
Right.
And when you go back for that second and third sip, it gets easier.
Yes.
It gets a lot easier. And again, you know, she spoke about the sticking your nose in a glass. If you're going to pour yourself a glass of something and it's not on the rocks, sit it in the glass, let some of that ethanol burn off before you go.
Absolutely.
Nose first into it.
I want Graybeard to tell this trick because this helped me, because when I first started, I was just stout, beers, coffees, and then Graybeard, and then I started getting into the whiskey community, you know, because that was like a lot of people are like, hey, you know, whiskey and cigars go really well together, and I'm just like, not sure, and they even said scotches. So, you know, being an Irish girl, I'm like, I don't like the scotch, you know. But Graybeard introduced me to some phenomenal scotch, and you know, my favorite's the peaty. You know, a lot of people don't like that, but it is amazing, like the characteristics and things that you can pull out. He has drawn me into that scotch world and the whiskey world. It's just an amazing, you know, beautiful experience when you have it, you know, and you take your time with it to go through it. So I mean, don't knock it just because you've heard someone else do it, you know. And that's one thing about like what we've enjoyed with the Twisted Pair is like on nights that we don't have guests and we have our viewers do it, they say, oh, try tequila. And I'm like, man, what I know about tequila is I'm on the floor. I can't do tequila. Like after the third, fourth shot, I'm like speaking Spanish. And it's not, I forget English and go directly into Spanish. But
Not if you're doing tequila Sheila. Tequila Sheila is the best.
And the chooches on the pairing?
I'm sorry, what was your?
You heard from me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
For me on the pairing, going from the cigar to the drink, I'm getting a little bit more of like your buttery. Well, it reminded me first of a peach cobbler, and so then I kind of started looking down into it, and I'm getting that kind of that creamy buttery type oil type notes with it. And then definitely picking up some of your peach and some of your stone fruits, your peach and apricot type notes with it. Going from the drink to the cigar, it's really bringing out some of the sweeter notes. Even in the last third that I'm in here, and I talk a lot, so I'm kind of.
I know you're slow tonight.
I'm slow, but this is also cigar number 6 for me today. Okay, so, give me a little bit of credit there. But to what Red was saying, you have to acclimate yourself to the ethanol. You have to acclimate your system to the alcohol. And so there's a couple of quick ways that we can do it. One really quick way. I'm going to show you the easy way to do it, and then the kind of messy way to do it. The easy way to do it is what we call the sip, sip, swirl. And so you do 2 quick sips. So I'm going to do that twice. I'm not going to swirl around. I'm just going to let it hit my tongue and immediately swallow it. I'm going to do that twice, and then on the third one, I'm going to swirl it around in my mouth. Kind of like what we would call in the bourbon world, the Kentucky chew, where you're kind of chewing it up and then you're swallowing it. By the time you get to the 4th sip on that, your system is more acclimated to the ethanol, and so that higher proof, that burn, doesn't quite hit you hard. And the same works for your peaty scotches with that medicinal note. Now, this other way of doing it, the reason why I call it the messy way, is because you take just a little bit of it.
I just go straight for the best. I'm just gonna say I go straight for the best.
I know, but for those who can't get past that, but you can pour it in your hand and you can bring it up and breathe it in, and that will acclimate your palate to the ethanol as well, so that you.
That's Kyle's favorite tactic right there.
I thought you were going to use it as cologne for a second.
But for me, I don't have that. For me, I just want to dive in and get messy.
I don't do that because for me that's alcohol abuse. I mean,
right?
That's alcohol abuse. What are you getting, especially now that you switched over to the Don V?
Okay, Don V is completely different, but I'm going to go back to ours. It was like first when you smell it, you get that. You said Christmassy things, but you're going to get that, whenever I smoke a turkey, I don't bake a turkey in the oven. I smoke my turkey and I put it on a beer. I know I'm different, but that's okay. But I also, whenever I stuff my turkey, I do apples and citrus because of the beer, when I do end up putting the stuffing. So I got a lot of that apples, and that's kind of reminded me of I also put nutmeg on my turkey. I know it's unconventional, but I'm hoping that the chef won't kick me out for that. But it's kind of that's what I was getting. It was like the nutmeg and some of that the apples and stuff that I do whenever I bake a turkey, the little bit of the rosemary, all that stuff. That's what it reminded me, because we talked about memories, right? So when I first did it, it was that memories of, Christmas with the apples, the oranges, all that I stuffed my turkey with. And so the Don V, which I'm going to have to say, I'm enjoying this. I was glad that you sent us one. I saved it specifically for whenever we came on. I saved one of them for whenever we came on. So it wasn't more of the Christmas feel to it. It was more of like you get I'm gonna have to go back to memories. You know, it's like at my pop's farm, and I'm getting a little bit of that hay towards it.
Yep.
But that's what I was getting. It was the caramel and vanilla.
Nice.
That I was picking up.
Very reminiscent of Honduras.
Yes, very.
And you've got a
Yeah.
Honduran barrel. And so that just goes to why we say it's not just a light body cigar with a white wine or something. You've got to know your cigars, the blends, the regions to really get into understanding these notes.
But on the retro hell, there's a little bit of sweetness to it. It's not like, you know, ours where you get that peppery of the cocoa. It's more of I don't want to call it a potpourri, and I'm kicking myself because normally whenever we do these shows, we have our pairing wheel right there with us, and that's why I'm kicking myself. But I'm getting more of a fall feel whenever I'm doing the Don V versus the Christmas feel with the LNG.
That makes sense.
It's kind of like a pumpkin. I know
Yes.
it's kind of a little bit of crazy, but you know that little spice for that pumpkin? That's what I'm picking up.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I guess it would be nutmeg, more of like nutmeg whenever you're making a pumpkin pie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know the audience is just itching to get
They're ready.
to our smoke
they're
the
ready.
shoot segment. They're waiting for the whiskey and the cigars. And
Can we join this?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna, yeah, you can join us for the front part where we will participate. Frank's got about 3 or 4 questions to make us look like chooches, and then the audience only get all the prizes. Joe, you want to go over that whole prize list because that blew me away.
Again,
Okay, absolutely. So
Pay attention.
what we're going to be doing,
an entire bottle of Joseph Magnus batch 73, the Leaf and Grain LNG single Robusto cigar, which is incredible, and the famous Don V cigar from Norwood Royal Cigars.
Which both of them go beautifully.
And then Billy, and also Leaf and Grain Society had a little addition to the prize too.
so what we're going to be doing, instead of just giving away one barbecue sauce, we're going to be giving away Cafe 305. We're going to be giving away our 4 barbecue sauces, the sweet and tangy barbecue sauce, the original barbecue sauce, the Carolina, and our brand new Alabama Slammer.
Nice.
I'm excited about that Alabama Slammer. I mean,
And
if
we're
you
gonna be
haven't
giving
had
away
that, that's beautiful.
2 of the Cafe 305 rocks glasses.
Wow.
Nice.
And then from Leaf and Grain, you're going to get the Leaf and Grain Pairing Journal, which enough pages in here for 10 pairings.
Oh, great.
So it's got the instructions here. I'm backwards. It's got the instructions in here of how Red Spiceman and I, when we go through a pairing. And then if you come in here, you've got notes. You've got space here to put in your cigar notes, where you got it from, what to blend on it, and then enough space to go through each of your thirds just on the cigar specifically. Same thing with your, and then you're going from cigar to drink and drink to cigar, and then you can rate it on 1 to 5, and then you've even got enough space down here to use a glue stick to take the label of the cigar and put that in there. And then there's even some blank pages at the back of it. So if you want to take extra notes on there, but there's enough in here to do 10 pairings on this.
And then you can rate it too.
And you can rate it. And then you're also going to get a Leaf and Grain Glencairn glass.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Frank, if you want to take us to the last round of sponsorship, and we're going to come back, and it's going to be the Christmas Smoke the Chooch.
In October.
This is like Christmas.
It is
At
like
Norwood
Christmas.
Royal Cigars, we have the biggest walk-in humidor in the Midwest. Our 1,500 square foot humidor is home to almost 4,000 different cigars that will meet the need of any cigar enthusiast. We have boutique blends to the more traditional selections and everything in between. From the novice beginner to the aficionado, the knowledgeable staff at NRC will find the perfect cigar for you. Located on the northwest side of Chicago, we want to be your shop for all your cigar wants and needs. As always, at Norwood Royal Cigars, light it, smoke it, love it.
Experience the magic of Rockefeller Cigars today. With 11 years steeped in tradition, passion, and mystery of the leaf, Rockefeller has a cigar just for you. Be like the greatest magicians and make Rockefeller Cigars appear in your lineup with any of our 4 lines. The Nicaraguan, the Dominican Blue, the Vintage Gold, and our new LE, the Art of Magic.
Cigar in the Bottle is 2 palate-pleasing gifts in 1. A specially blended Grand Pommier XS VSOP Cognac is elegantly contained in patented numbered bottles. Winner of back-to-back medals at the LA Spirits Awards, Cigar in the Bottle inventor Forbidden Johnny teams up with Vartan and Hendrik Kellner for this custom-blended Vartan Reserva cigar, well-preserved in a hand-blown glass chamber featuring Boveda 2-way humidification.
It all begins at the very first climate-controlled Rodriguez Olivan cigar factory located in the Dominican Republic. Our 2 major brands include Don Olivan, which are boutique cigars suited for that individual who takes great pride in something unique. BAMF is our armed forces cigars designed for that badass mother effer. Not only are you smoking a great premium cigar, a percentage of the proceeds is donated to our heroic men and women in uniform.
And we're back, folks. All righty, everybody, let's get
Can
ready.
we disqualify Patrick Brown? I'm just wondering because he said roll tide.
Roll Tide.
I just want to say War Eagle. War damn Eagle. I just have to throw that in there.
All right, we can do that. But let's get ready for the Smoke the Chooch. Christmas in October.
Christmas in October, but it's not going to be Christmas for any of you chooches. Because
All right.
I suppose all of you, what you really are. So I'm a history buff. And now Dave, Ash, Billy, even Joey. Joey's the chief of chooches, by the way. He's so far off base. But I'm gonna ask you some questions about history, and please feel free to chime in. You don't have to raise your hand if you know the answer. Remember, no answer is too stupid during this segment.
Well, I don't know.
Unless you're Joey G.
Unless you're
I was going to say, unless you're Joey, you know, that. You know, I was going to say he looks good as an ass.
He does. He looks better as an ass, actually.
Only in the morning.
So, you know, on this date in history, it's amazing what happens on this date in history.
Frank, show your mascot.
Oh, by the way, we can never start this segment without first paying homage to the sponsor of our segment, which is Mr. David Blanco and Blanco Cigar Company. And you see the chooch right there. It's Smoke the Chooch, and it's time to play. So our mascot hides in the back room, and he sometimes makes his way out. I let him out once in a while, and he's... So the chooch in Italian means jackass. So, Joey,
right,
are
Joey?
you on this date in history, October 11th in 1987, a 3-day hunt costing $1.6 million, hoping to either prove or disprove this legend. What is the legend that they spent $1.6 million to either prove or disprove?
Loch Ness Monster.
Look at Bob.
Yep.
He's not a chooch at all.
No.
Not tonight. He starts off the night free and clear. Free and clear. But on this date in history, 1921, things do get a little odd. They usually do.
You think so?
This plague that medical science cannot explain is taking more and more lives every year. Bob, that's why, see, being not so much a chooch, now you prove your choochness. You don't even let me flip. And he jumps in and thinks he knows the answer.
Well, Bob started it, so
Bob was alive. He was alive during 1921 and this plague. But science could not explain, and they took more and more lives each year. The plague, which affects young and old, rich and poor. Last year in Ohio alone, the toll was 200. And this year, it will exceed that number many more times over. We'll find what is the cause of this terrible, terrible disease.
The clap?
Pecorini.
Yeah. Well, Bob was about 18 during 1921, so the clap was probably in his reach. No, actually,
the problem was they weren't drinking enough bourbon because it was 1921.
Exactly.
Yeah, prohibition. Yeah.
Exactly. But actually, this sickness was called sleeping sickness, and it took that many lives.
The hell was that?
Sleeping sickness. Hey, listen, I don't write this stuff. I just report on it.
I was gonna say stupidity, but who knows?
Well, that happens every day, all day today, Billy. Stupidity, you know the phrase "stupidity reigns supreme." This is what's going on. In 1939, this person wrote his famous letter to FDR about the potential of an atomic bomb. In the letter, he argued the scientific
Einstein.
Look at Ronnie. Where did you pull that one out of?
Out of my ass.
Albert Einstein. I know. Wow. Look at Ron. I'll give you guys one more. One more.
Then the audience is really happening here.
Frank, look up here.
Yes. You drink? Oh, you finished?
Oh, he did finish it.
Look up here. I still have half of this left.
What do you guys think? Should I finish my bottle?
No.
Joe, you're going for a puking rally again. Jeez.
Joey, you don't want to do that, Joe. I know you don't want to
do sleeping disease after that one.
No, you don't want to do that.
For us,
it's still for you guys, and then the last one, you know. But on this date in history, Bob, in 1975, October 11th, this comedy variety show premiered with George Carlin as the host.
Oh, Saturday Night Live.
There we go. Yep.
Oh, man. That's an easy one.
Then. I wasn't around until like the late 70s.
Oh, no, yeah. I was already 70 in 1975. He just looked good for 140.
Is that 1870s or 1970s?
1870, that's what I mean. So,
you know, the 1870s is where he's from.
The great part about this is I don't have to worry about this question because the chooch of all chooches will deliver this question to the masses of asses.
Okay, there we go.
And let's see how many asses out there can guess this epic prize package here only on the Great Lake Smoke Show.
Whoa! Drink.
All right.
Yeah, we forgot. This is the new great cigar.
Great cigar.
Drinking, smoking, snorting, drinking, smoking podcast, smoke show. I don't even know what the fuck we are anymore.
We're tokers. We're tokers. Damn
We're
it.
talk show. Talk show.
I think we're the show.
Drinking, smoke.
This, whatever I have left, in honor of Joey.
Okay, so this question is in honor of Billy.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so here we go, guys. If you're ready, this is the
For the
main
audience.
Smoke the Chooch
Audience only.
for the audience only. Bob. Here's the question. The first person to get this question right on the board is going to win this Christmas package. Absolutely. All right, so if you're ready, here we go. So in 2014, the small city of Minas in Uruguay set a Guinness World Record by hosting the largest barbecue ever. More than 100 cooks used 60 tons of wood for their gigantic barbecue, in which they grilled 16.5 kilos of raw meat for hours. So, in order to celebrate the city's 34th anniversary and claiming to have served 20,000 kilos of meat, what other South American city claims to have had the biggest barbecue in the world?
So Getya says, come on, Joe. What kind of question are you sending me?
Forget about it.
Yeah, how about that?
How about Callus or Callies?
Callus by Patrick.
Brazil.
Cakes now.
Brazil by Christy and my buddy. Brazil.
Again, it's the city. We're
it's
getting
city.
close to it. You're getting close with Brazil.
Chris, you got to get closer.
See, that's so hard for me not to
City,
say.
not I mean countries, cities.
Argentina.
No, that's a country. It's a
City.
country. A city, like New York City.
Another country.
Glenn, a city, not a country.
Okay, y'all.
Rio de Janeiro.
Yes,
Rio
right
de Janeiro.
Is that the answer?
No.
No, it is not the answer.
La Pampa.
Woohoo.
No.
No.
What the hell is La
Boyam Bang. I don't even know what Boyam Bang is.
No.
Come on, man.
Wait a minute. Uruguay.
No, it's a city.
It's a country.
City.
Patrick, that's why you're going to
That's a good choice.
Los Campis. La Campis.
No.
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 We've got Montevideo.
There's
No.
Pampa.
There is a time limit on this, folks. So come on.
Colombia.
Chris, Colombia is a country. We're looking at it.
All these fucking chooches. Oh, could it be? Could it be? Could it be?
Para.
The answer to tonight's Smoke the Chooch trivia question: which city in South America claims to have had the biggest barbecue in the world in honor of our guy Billy Breedlove of Cafe 305 Barbecue is Parapegas?
Even Joe.
I forgot your Italian side came out. Albert.
Good job, Albert.
Because he's got that Latin name. It's
he has an unfair advantage. Albert has a Hispanic last name.
Guys, I'm fucked up, man. I've been doing this shit all day. Come on, give me a fucking break.
Because he was gonna throw in an easy ashtray from Leaf and Grain Society, but because of that, I will throw it in.
Whoa!
Whoa! I think that deserves a round of applause, Kyle. Where's it at? Let's throw Albert back up on the screen with that correct answer.
Let me get Albert back up on the screen. I mean, Albert, let me tell you, all we want you to do is share this with everyone you know and tell them, listen, if you want to win big, this is the only place you could do it.
Albert, when you get these prizes, we ask you to take a picture of yourself with all the prizes, send it to us because we like to post it. But you also got to PM me your address so we can get everybody your address and they can send you all their prizes. Fantastic, Albert.
And with Ronnie sending them out by mail, you will get it by Christmas.
By Christmas.
Yeah. That was the Para Pebas. I don't know how to say City Hall. That's located. It's located in Pará state in northern Brazil. For all you Brazilians out there, we're representing barbecue. We're representing barbecue and Brazil tonight. And again, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. This was epic. I think we went a little beyond our normal time.
You know what I'm going to do, Joey?
Yes.
I'm going to throw in, because it's Brazil, I'm going to throw in 2 of my daughter's special cigars that I had made.
Oh.
Because they have a Brazilian Criollo wrapper. It's going out. We're sending it out to them. We'll get 2 of my special. Only 200 cigars.
All right, hang on. Hold time out. You know what? I don't want to be the only fucking chooch on the show tonight. I'm gonna throw in. Where is it at here?
Where is it? You can't even find it.
He can't find it. He's had too much bourbon.
I'm gonna throw in a Whiskey Network hat.
Wow!
What the hell?
And the prizes just keep rolling. I'm throwing in my keys to my Maserati.
I'm putting in a mystery box. It could be anything or it could be nothing.
Can I throw in the ashes of the ashtray too?
Yeah. Bring smoke cigars.
All those ashes of these cigars that we smoked tonight. They're unbelievable.
Pre-smoked cigars.
That is awesome.
Excellent,
Wow,
excellent,
you are
guys.
the biggest prize winner ever on this show.
I like Bruce. Bruce is great. He goes, you know what? These shows are getting really long and expensive.
I would send you the bill.
And Bruce, you're going to get
Hey, Bruce just got his credit card bill from the BCA. Oh, fantastic.
Albert wants to know something, Joe. Joey, Albert knows you. He goes, new hat.
This is a new hat. This is a new hat. Nothing but the best.
That's last night.
Yes.
And actually, this hat was made by our sponsor, Tom Simeone, who makes our glasses, our Whiskey Network.
Look at that.
He makes our Whiskey Network glasses, our WBSE glasses. That's Tom Simeone. He's in Michigan. And that's giftsonglass.net. Giftsonglass.net. If you want some special glasses made for your group or you personally, he'll even put your fucking face on a glass. I don't have that glass at the ready, but
they didn't have an ass big enough.
You know what? Hey Joe, when he made that glass for you with your face on it, it broke. By the way.
Yeah, it definitely cracked. It definitely cracked. Yeah.
All right, so I guess this is it.
I guess so. Well, Bruce kicked us off our own show.
Sorry we took so long, Bruce.
I just sent you my information on my Facebook. PM me, and I'll get your information to everybody else. So, man, let me tell you, you're one hell of a lucky winner tonight. Biggest one of the year. Fantastic. Ash, Dave, Billy, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. We hope you had a good time. I know we did. And I know we'll be in love with you guys, and I hope you keep ordering more and more of your products.
Billy, you'll be getting my PM for that bourbon barbecue, by the way. That's coming away immediately. So 1 bottle off to the side. Thank you.
You got it.
Sorry, Albert. He just took the last bottle. Anyway, from all of us to all of you guys out there, thank you so much. And we'll check you out next Tuesday night for another great show and more prizes. All right. Have a good one, everybody.
Good night.
Cheers.
Good night.
Cheers.
Many of the cigar brands that we make, they're antique, historic cigar brands. They've been made on and off for about 100 years.
When you're smoking Toscano, you're smoking 206 years of history.
The Italians are here.
We're here. We're in the house. For some reason, we find a lot of Italians on this show.
Listen, I'm a Jersey guy.
Hey,
so,
hey, we won't hold that against you. We invented this to we want to give people the opportunity to smoke the cigar at the optimal level.
The Chooch cigar.
Can you believe it?
The Blanco 9 Chooch.
¿Cómo va? ¿Está bien?
¿Qué dice? ¿Cómo está?
Finally, I can answer the question. Anything new?
Yeah.
And we have some cool new stuff from Olivan.
This is a passion for me. It's not a job.
Your love and passion for this is,
I love it.
unbelievable.
That's why we can make pipes out of this variety of corn.
11 years ago, I went back and I bought the rights to everything La Polina.
Sure, it's family.
And restarted the brand again as a tribute to my grandfather.
It's nice because you get to see a lot of your friends. You got to remember, I've been doing this for 30 years, so a lot of these people are like family.
Build a platform where we could celebrate boutique cigars.
Leave Starlight House blend for one store in Pennsylvania.
Wow. Join forces of pipe tobacco and
superheroes. I always look forward to the Super Bowl events, and I always looked at the trade show as just one of those things.
We're not just selling cigars. We try to live our lives, and we use this as a means to share our stories and to really create community.
Hold on, man. Wow, that was wow, man. You got me.
Tell my brothers to line them up. We'll drink that whiskey from those old dirty cups. We'll toast to the present, the future, and the past. This ain't my first drink, but I sure it ain't my last. 'Cause this world is so beautiful. I see its love come shining through. This world is so beautiful. I see its love come shining.